Hey everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me for my August month in review or monthly favorites video. I'm super excited to be sharing with you what decks tickled my fancy during the month of August and just what I was working on, doing, experiencing up until today. I'm a little tired and I'll explain why in a moment. So why don't we go ahead and get started because I don't want to keep y'all here all day. Oh, Lord. Let's get it. All right. So we are here. Welcome. Welcome. What were you loving on in the month of August in terms of decks, crystals? I don't know anything like in terms of crystals to share that I was like, oh, I was using a particular crystal. As y'all see my reading tables, if you ever watch like my Mystery Mystic readings, or if I'm demonstrating different decks, you'll see that I have a whole bunch of crystals on the reading table. So they're just there, emanating their beautiful energy. So no crystals for me this month to discuss, but I did want to just say why I'm so tired. I'm super tired. So lately I've been a night owl, like for the last month or like, no, I'd say the last, probably for a good chunk of the summer. I've been staying up, keeping late hours. And it's partly because of the rebel in me, because I'm like, I don't have to wake up until I'm good and ready to wake up. So I take full advantage of that. But I'm minding my own business late night, and I've been having a couple of different nighttime creatures that have visited, either while I was doing a reading, like doing like a recorded reading, or I was emailing like a member or something like that. I'm doing my nighttime activities. Everybody else is asleep. The dog is asleep. My daughter, my husband, everybody else is asleep. But I feel like I'm the only one up in the little town. So I love it. I love it. I've always been a night owl. However, I didn't get no sleep last night, and I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna share my screen as to what happened the last 2 nights. Hi, how are you doing? How's it going? Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Yeah. You just wait, my friend. You just wait. Let me get the screen ready. Let me get it all together because I had to put it on a slideshow. I took some pictures. Yeah. This is my night the last couple of nights. Let's see if I can share this. Yes, I can. Okay, so this is not so bad. It was a little frog, made a little ribbit just right outside my office window. So this is my reading space, my office / reading space. And the the frog, you know how you could feel some like eyes on you, but you don't know. And like you're like, well, obviously there's no eyes on me because I'm the only one up. It's like literally super quiet except for like the crickets or something like that. And then I hear, and I look, and it's like we're just a few feet away from each other, just a few feet. And at first, like the frog is looking dead at me, but eventually, I guess it goes to sleep, and it goes to sleep in this little position here. Cool. I was like, how cute. It startled me, and I thought it would added a fun little something in the client reading I was recording in the wee hours in the morning. I think it was like one something, maybe 2 in the morning. So that was cool. I was like, oh, look, I have a little creature that's just right there. And I live in the tropics. There's always beautiful birds in the daytime that pop up right here because we have reflective windows so they can see their little reflections. So they, always are there, the birds. Lizards, geckos. I'm cool with that. I'm even getting cool with the spiders because now I know they're not poisonous Whereas in California, we have poisonous snakes, we have poisonous spiders. So I'm a little more like, But now I'm getting used to the big spiders. So let me show y'all what had happened last night. And I literally got like 2 hours of sleep, probably. This happened. This millipede. As you can see the trail. But so what happened was I am typing away, typing. I'm sending a summary that I do for my Poised Elite members. For my Rebel Soul members who meet with me once a month, I like to do a summary of our meetings. And I'm typing away, and something out of the corner of my eye grabs my attention. I'm like, what the hell? This thing is like this big. I don't know if the photo does it justice. It's like this big. Hold on. It's like, yeah, oh my is right. It's huge, huge. And it's slithering around like the perimeter of the office space. It's not a huge room here that I'm in. So I see it and I'm like, it takes all of me not to scream my head off, literally all of me. But I did scream. I did do a little yelp and a scream, but I tried to contain myself because I don't want to wake up everybody. I don't want to scare anybody, but I'm freaked out because I've heard, and it's been told to me by locals, by my husband, that centipedes are fine. Wait, I'm getting them mixed up. Is it centipedes or millipedes? Now I'm getting them mixed up. Whatever. I think this is the more centipede is this. The other one is docile. Not a big deal. I see those on occasion. I just scoop them up in my with a broom in the dustpan and put them outside. This biggin, I don't know. It freaked me the hell out. And I jump up. My husband's sleeping soundly in the bedroom. And I had to wake him. I felt so bad, but I was like, I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to kill it. So my husband gets this bug spray, and you can see the trail of the bug spray because it took a while for this thing to die. Because it went around and around till it finally died. But yeah, here's another shot. I think that's it. I think I don't have any more. Yeah, so I'm now my husband and I are up. It's like 3 something in the morning. Cannot sleep. We are like on YouTube, Googling, effective ways to deal with them. Obviously this is a thing, but even the locals get scared of them. So I know like I should be probably scared of them too, because they are venomous. An adult can handle the venom typically, unless you are like really allergic. Like if you are allergic to bee stings and things, you may not want to at all tango with this thing, and it could take out a child. So like it's a big deal, and it could have you having chills and fevers and pain. And they always tell us you'll probably need to have some rum to to help you with dealing with the pain and like all of this. So my husband rides on me a lot about being a night owl. And I think last night he was grateful I was up because they're nighttime hunters. They hunt at night. And I should have known something was up because there was a little congregation of little baby geckos outside of my door earlier, like maybe 15 minutes before. And I was wondering like, wow, why are they all together? They probably were like, oh my God, this massive thing is roaming around. So we're Googling, we're seeing videos, and a lot of people like, in the United States, they're like, oh, don't kill them. They're docile. These are different. These are not the same as the ones in the United States. These are ones that are not so docile. They will, if they feel threatened, and it don't take much for them to feel threatened, and they will crawl in your bed. So I could not sleep, friends. Yes, that was a frog. It was a little baby frog. That was like, okay, I could do baby frogs. I could do even a big frog. It was so cute. But child, the snakes. And the snakes out here, we had a snake in here once and our dog got it. And it was like, and again, the snakes out here are, from what I understand, are not venomous. And it was like really narrow and long. Whereas where I'm from, we do have venomous snakes. You have to be careful. Most of the time it's like gardener snakes in like California, from what I remember. But I mean, we have poisonous things. We have scorpions, we have black widows. So you just know to be careful. And I don't know. I'm just still getting used to the animal situation out here. Girl, heck no, it's right. It's massive. It's huge. I literally, I could feel like you know how you just get like this, the creepy crawlies, and it was just happening all night. I turned the lights off to finally lay down to go to sleep. And the shadows are scaring me now. Like, I'm like, what was that? What's going on? Like, I could not sleep. I hope I get a lot of sleep tonight. Y'all. It is me. And the way it moved, hell no. Like, it was freaky. It moved hella fast. It's got hella legs. And that's how I knew it wasn't the friendly little millipede one that I'm used to, because they kind of move like really like smooth and like, I don't know, just different. This thing was angry and moving real fast. And I was like, and knowing that it could climb up in the bed or on my chair or anything, I was like, I don't know. This is not good. Yeah, how many more are there? And they can lay eggs, I guess. Child, I just was so disturbed. Yeah, so we Googled, can you squash them? So there's a video, like a very short Dominican video, like a guy who's wearing rubber boots, and he's trying to demonstrate that you can't just step on it and squash it. And normally my husband would be probably a little irritated because he's been having a hard time going to sleep the last couple of nights, and he was sleeping soundly. But he told me, he was like, I'm glad you woke me up. I need to handle this. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, what is the point of having a partner if you can't call on them in need? So yeah. And he showed it to my daughter. He killed it and he put it in a bucket or whatever. And I kept being a paranoid, like, what if it comes back alive? Because it didn't want to die. So he showed her the thing, and we were so glad that our dog was asleep and didn't get a hold of it. So yeah, child. Strength in numbers is right. I was like, I feel so violated. I feel so violated. Adam, thank you for joining. I was just sharing my nightmare situation. I mean, some people are not creeped out by creepy crawlers, but I am. Okay. That is just what it is. Like now, if I had a deck that had a centipede as one of the little animals, I don't know if I won't want to use it. I'm like, uh, you and me both, friend. Karen, you and me both, okay? Please, none of these crazy legged creatures, but it's poisonous. Oh my God, I would freak out. Exactly. And like, we've been here since 2021. It took me a long time to get used to huntsman spiders, but I had to keep like psychologically big up in myself saying, oh no, they're really good. They get rid of the bad pests. We don't have a cockroach problem. So obviously they're doing their job. So I've been logically like telling myself spiders are good. Little geckos, cute. Even the big lizards, cute. Me and the centipedes will never, ever get along. In Barcelona, you should see the X-Men cockroaches. X-Men cockroaches. They don't even scare me anymore. There's so many of them. Oh, so I'm imagining X-Men cockroaches. I'm going to have to Google that. I imagine that they are ginormous. And you get numb to it. It's just like with the big spider. I haven't seen a tarantula. They do have tarantulas here. I have not seen a tarantula yet. But in preparation, I've been like watching videos and how to deal with them if I encounter them, and that they're actually not bad, you know. So it's been a lot of mental conditioning going on. That makes me think of something Patrick Valenza would draw. Yep. I could totally see him including a centipede in one of his card depictions. I totally could. I mean, he has a spider, and I'm trying to think of other creatures in the Mildred Payne, but you know, I'm used to spiders. You know, that's just the thing. Most of us know spiders, right? But that creature was ugly. So yeah, so that was palmetto bugs. I don't even know what those are. And the cockroaches can fly out here too. Oh God. But I've even gotten used to them. Like at the last place we stayed, every now and then they'll crawl underneath the door and come in the house. And they're not like American cockroaches where they're like, it's because somebody might be living nasty. Like they are just a part of the whole ecosystem. So you will see these creatures. I just am still getting used to it. So that was my adventure, friends. And to that end, I'm going to talk about my plans for this weekend. So I am going to be doing some fall cleaning of just the house itself. People always talk about spring cleaning. That's usually when people do a massive cleaning, like when they label it such. I am going to do a fall cleaning, and it's time because I want to change out my reading cloth table. You know, my cloth. If you watch some of my videos, you know, I've had this like yellow greenish one that was like symbolic of summertime. And I'm either going to go to town maybe tomorrow or Saturday and buy a new one, or I'm going to be practical and go through my bag of reading cloths, and maybe I'll show you all some. You can help me pick what I should use for fall. So I'm going to be from head to toe getting rid of spider webs, because apparently these big ass things come up in here because they want to they want to be like the spiders. They want to get some of the little smaller creatures or whatever. Oh, I think they even eat the little geckos. That's probably why the little geckos had a little congregation outside the door. They were like, we're going to be out here tonight. Normally they're in here keeping me company. Hell no. So I'm going to be cleaning every little nook and cranny. I'm finally going to use that Chinese floor wash. I haven't used it yet because we've just swept and used. I have like a standard cleaning solution that's almost done that we bought at the grocery store. And so I was like, no, I want to save this for a proper like cleaning of my spiritual space. So I think I'm going to do a video, and the reason I'm going to do a video versus a live is so I can edit it out, all the boring stuff, but just showing y'all like the painstaking process I go through to switch out the reading cloth table, all my crystals, cleaning them, cleaning. I'm going to be dusting, taking this stuff off the shelves, the decks. And also the decks that are in there, I'm going to be cleaning. Dust is everywhere. There's been a lot of construction in the area. Plus, it's just this red dirt. So it just kind of lays a layer in here. So I'm doing fall cleaning, and I got to see if I keep all my reading cloth, my reading tablecloths in here. I got to see if there's one in here that I want to use for fall for the next few months. I don't switch it out very often because I'm lazy, to be truthfully honest about all of that. And not only that, it's just I get used to it and I like it and I get accustomed to it. So why change it out? But some people change out their reading cloths or reading tablecloths or whatever you want to call them very frequently. And maybe there's something to be said about me not having all my crystals on the table at once, because I might be more inclined to switch it out. Doubtful, because I used to have 2 reading tables when I lived in Sacramento, one that was a little bit more sparse than my big granddaddy one. And I still didn't switch them out that often. And I'm thinking about putting a shelf or something here for my crystals and then just using select crystals. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, this one I used, I don't know, the holiday season between Christmas and Valentine's Day because it's red and it works. Then, and I keep these in here, these little things to keep the humidity down so they don't get all stinky. So I have, what's going on? So I have these. I love this look. I loved it so much, I bought an extra one. Got that. Oh my gosh. Is that a real ambulance? What's going on? You hear the sirens? Then I have this one. I like this one. Then oh my gosh. Are they okay? Sorry, folks, for the sirens. Oh my gosh, it is the ambulance. There's never any this much excitement. Like, it's a new phenomenon that they actually have an ambulance with sirens. Like, they would have ambulances when we first got here, but they never use sirens, even if it's a life or death situation. So they've I don't know, they've gotten a little bit more with it. And so to hear a siren, I'm like, what's going on? And on this little cul-de-sac, really weird. Then I have my yin yang one, which I wash it and it's kind of lost its sharp black and white. So what do you all think? Which one do you think I should use next? I'm possibly going to go to town, like go to this little Indian store where where did I get this one? And my yellow one, I got this one from in town. So I may do that. Because I want something new, but I don't have space for it. And I can't be just doing the most, you reuse what you got. So that's what I'm inclined to do. Let me see what you all are saying. Yes. It is Virgo. Yes, it's an appropriate time for doing fall cleaning. And I'm excited. I'm going to use this, and I make my own. Oh, it's hardly any more in there. I'm going to make some more. I make my own sprays. This is lavender and white sage and Palo Santo spray. One's up there, but I'm going to finally get to use this, and I'm going to do a standalone video because you all wanted to know what I think of it, my impressions of it, and it got to give you the whole experience. Like me filling it up. Does it get does it get sudsy or not? Does it smell good? Does it do what we want it to do for spiritual stuff? That's what we want to do. So it's going to be a video for that. I'm looking forward to it. So Virgo season, I'm feeling inspired. And especially after that monster was in here last night, violating me and my space. Yeah, I'm going to use some of that. I agree. Maybe I will use the purple. Or, let me see, love geckos. They're so sweet and funny, aren't they? They're so cute with their little cute little feet. I don't know what you call them. They're not paws. Their little feet. They're so cute. And we have so many of them. They're so little and adorable. And my daughter loves them. She loves frogs too. Those are like her little spirit animal, the frog. But yeah, not that monster. I'm just, ooh. Yeah, I have to conserve energy for them. Absolutely. And that's the other thing. It's like, some people, maybe they have a lot of free time on their hands. I don't. I am constantly daily using my reading table for clients. Maybe sometimes readings for myself, but primarily for clients or my Poised Elite members. So I'm not in a way where I could just, let me switch out the cloth today because I have so much stuff on this table, decks and crystals and all the things, shells and feathers. It's just not practical. And I'm a mama. And My adult sons, when they want to talk to me, they persistent. They gonna talk to me. So I have to not drop everything, but I have to make time to talk to them. And of course I want to. I like to catch up and hear my babies and hear how they're doing. And then my 13-year-old, when she gets out of school, that's why I start the lives at 2:40 to give us a few minutes to catch up on her day. I know, I'm feeling the purple too. Maybe I'll go with the purple. We haven't did the straight up purple yet. So maybe we'll do that. Cute. Look. And I got this in Sacramento when I was still living out there. But look at it's got geckos on it. Yeah, the yin and yang, I haven't used it all this year. So that one wouldn't be a bad idea because I haven't used it all this year. Last year I used it and it was on the table for a long time. It started fading even. That's how long. Yes, all the questions. Virgo is the sign I have 0 in my chart and the sign I most struggle to relate with. As Scorpio sun, Leo rising, and a lot of Scorpio in my chart. I have Virgo friends and they're drastically different than me. Yes. I don't, not that I'm an expert in astrology, but from what I gather and what I know, I don't have any Virgo in my chart as well. And so I had a Virgo boss one time when I was an analyst. And at first I was like, oh God, I don't know if this is going to work. But then I really respected her work ethic and the way she thinks and just the way she moved. And it was like, okay, I could dig it. I could dig their work ethic. My husband has Virgo in his chart and he's a Taurus sun sign. So we are different, very different. But I like to think that Virgos or earth signs ground all the air and fire that I have in me. And I like that. I like that grounding energy. I have a lot of Virgo, but it's in the 5th house, which is messed up. Laughing out loud, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars. See, y'all know all of that. I just know the cards. It's a sign. It's a sign. It is a sign. The geckos. The geckos are in the house. Literally. Literally. So, okay. Thank you. So, in case I may go out still just to peek around, a little window shopping, the spot. But we have a top contender. The gecko is the sign, and I'm so forever grateful. So let me make sure I'm on. Y'all, I just switched tabs, and the tab that's on is the centipede, and I'm not happy. It's so ugly. It's so freaking ugly. So yeah, so fall cleaning, and I'll do a standalone video on that. Just because I promise you all my honest review of the Chinese floor wash. But not just that, because I think it's fun to see people's spaces, like where they do their readings and their office space. And you'll get to, I'm going to show you the nooks and crannies of the space. So next up, I wanted to say, like, some people seem to be interested. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago where I'm like, I would love to do like I don't want to call it a full-on slumber party, but since I'm a night owl, I guess it could be a slumber party where people, if they wanted to jump on live with me and we open our shelves or we go to our shelves and we look up decks or we pull out decks that we ain't touched in forever. And we just chat, share cards, drink our favorite beverages, and have a good time. So like a deck loving slumber party. So I'm just curious to know, and I'm putting it out there. If you're watching the replay later and you remember to leave a chat, let me know. Would you be more interested in doing this on YouTube, like StreamYard, where people pop in, pop out, come and go? Or would you rather do that as a more intimate thing, like on Zoom? where I say, okay, who wants to join me? And I send out the Zoom link and then you join. I'm just curious because I could go either way. Literally, it's no problem for me. But I just thought I have so many decks, so many that I have not touched and looked at. And sometimes we might, in those moments, be like, I think I'm ready to pass this deck on. Or, oh my God, I remember why I fell in love with it. And here, let me show you this card. Let me show you that card. And we do like a card show and tell, but maybe you wear your jammies. Obviously, appropriate jammies, but we wear our jammies. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to put that out there. My members, they were like, that sounds great. Now I could just do it for members, but I was like, no, I think the more the merrier. Obviously, I definitely want my members to be there for show. But I was like, oh, let's have a fun little time of getting refamiliarized with our decks. And I'm a big proponent of celebrating the decks that we already have in our collection. You all know that. I'm very big on that. And to that end, I wanted to give you all a update on my low buy year. I'm doing a depth year. I haven't gone really in depth though, but it has been a low buy year. It is September 5th. And I'll tell you what I've done and what I've been up to. I had a $250 budget that I assigned myself for the year. And I have spent $154.79 so far this year, leaving a remaining balance of $95.21. Yay. So this past month, I bought two Oracle decks. I got, and y'all probably saw I put this on the channel, Haters Expose Evil Eye Oracle cards. I used this impromptu for some gossip that was going on in one of the YouTube channel. Like there's like, I'm so bad. Sometimes you know how people like to watch soap operas? I like to sometimes escape in YouTuber drama. Not in the tarot world. We don't really have this kind of level of drama. So I was like, what's going on? So I threw some cards with this deck and it was spot on. It was pretty accurate. I also used this deck in a Mystery Mystic Monday reading recently. The videos I posted for Sharitha Morrison, I used this deck and it feels spot on. So I got this deck this past month and I also got the Prism Oracle, which I talked about in my last live stream. And I pulled cards for the subscriber folk, for y'all. And I used this deck. I really like this deck. I was very surprised by the Prism Oracle. 16 bucks I paid for it on Amazon. And I was inspired to get it because I did a reading lab in August for my members on color and the cards. And I wanted some inspiration. And so that's why I got this deck. I didn't want to get the color Maj. I think that's what it's called. Maj. It was super expensive. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to make that kind of commitment. It was like $100 and some odd dollars. I'm like, not today. So I got this one and I'll be damned. It is so good. Unexpected. Love those unexpected surprises. I won't go through a flip through because I already did one, but this one was fun. Every now and then you need a fun oracle. I mean, I guess it's not, the topic is not so fun, but you know what I'm saying. You have copycat, trying to be just like you in everything you do. Hopefully you don't ever have to deal with a hater. So you cut them off and they're still watching. So this, I think, came up in one of the YouTuber drama readings I did. Okay. Interesting. No self-esteem. It's good. So if you want to see a full flip through, I'm not going to show all of these cards only because I just did a flip through, a full one at that. And I gave my impressions of the deck. And check out the comment section because Auntie K got this deck as well. And she had a great comment about her experience, her initial experiences with it. So take a spiritual bath. So I don't know. I like it. I like it. Pleasant surprise. But, you know, after a while, if you've been collecting decks for a while, you kind of can gauge what's going to work for you and what's not. Yeah. So those are 2 decks I bought. I only spent 16, I think 16 for each of them. So 2 decks, $32. Not bad. Not bad. Nice. I'm studying astrology. Fascinating, but lots of rabbit holes to run down for sure. Like my friends who are really, really into like natal charts and astrology and all the things, like it blows my mind how in depth the study is for astrology. My my level of understanding is very rudimentary, I guess you could say. Like I was that one in the like early 90s going to like the bookstores and just sitting and reading all of the books that were on your sign for the year. You know how each year you get your little, it's like, okay, for 1994, here's everything that's going on with like the Aquarius, and here how would they get along with these signs for the year, and this is what's going on. That's it. And also I have a basic understanding of astrology and how it relates to tarot. Now, y'all know I love me some tarot, and I study that all day, every day, all day, every day. But I had to get a basic understanding of astrology to really help me unlock certain meanings with tarot. Same with numerology. Am I going all super in depth? No, but basic understanding is helpful. Hey, hello. Thank you so much for joining, Jay Marcus. I'm happy you are here. Actually, in a moment, you come to mine and I'll tell you why in a moment. Let's see. So Adam Bluefire says, I'm an astrologer since I was 16 and I'm 43 now. Oh, you and I are well, I'm a year older than you. So no wonder we have lots in common. Okay. Oh, let's see. Hey, hi. Thank you for joining. We're just sitting up here talking about my phobias and astrology and fall cleaning, all the things. Thank you for joining. I'm happy you're here. Yay, Michelle. Hello, hello. Okay, Adam Bluefire, and we know you don't, my love. You said, I don't do low buy. The word low is like Voldemort to me. I can't even utter the word. I can't even. So I did 1 year in 2020. I did a no buy, and then I switched it, and I wanted to extend the depth year. And I ended up doing 18 months? Part mostly no buy and then part low buy. And it served me well because I was on this track of buying decks. And that depth year, that 2020 depth year, and I have a whole playlist on it. It's in the description box of this video, of this replay, you'll see. I did go depth. I went deep. I journaled about my experiences about going deep. I explored different decks, and I was gifted decks. It was a beautiful time. And it was also during the pandemic, and it was a huge test. It was a test for me because normally I love retail therapy. Okay. Guilty pleasure. And to have to put that on pause was good for me. It was good. So it led to bigger blessings, like moving here, like space to think about what it is I really want to spend my money on. So it was good, but I feel you, like low buy. And I had to give myself a budget. So I gave myself 250. People were like, well, how'd you pull up with 250? I looked back at my spending habits over the last few years with decks since moving here. And I could see like, okay, 250 would be reasonable for me. I might save that last bit of $95 for a sweet indie deck though, but we'll see. Or you could buy quite a few mass markets with $95. Yes, I am stuck in a position of low buy now, but I'm building up an amazing wish list, right? My wish list, and thanks to Adam Bluefire, yes, I'm blaming you. No, it's like 27 decks. 27 decks on my wish list. It's quite nice. When I was in no depth year, no low buy, I'm just buying, what do they say? With no abandon, I'm just free falling, just shopping, buying all the decks. I would have usually maybe 1, 2 on the wish list. Nothing lasted on the wish list. Nothing was on the wish list that stayed. There was no wish list, really, if I'm to be perfectly honest. Now there's truly a wish list. Some out of print decks, some very expensive decks, some even mass market decks that I'm just not ready yet to pull the trigger. I've created spreads for my course, Choosing Your Next Deck, Curating Your Collection. And there's a spread where you can interview or use your existing favorite deck and ask about your relationship with the incoming deck. And so I sometimes, when I have time, I'll do that spread to see, I'm itching for a new deck, but am I really? And so I do that spread to check in to see. So if you ever need that or need some resources or tools on helping you with managing your collection, or you're feeling a bit out of control with your spending, drop me a comment or email me at abundantlifetarot@gmail.com. I have a lot of resources that I could share with you that helped me, that was born out of my depth year in 2020. 2020 was pivotal for me. I turned 40. That year I had, everybody was going through it with the pandemic. We were on significant lockdown in California, and I had some big epiphanies. And I also had an incredible shroom experience that helped me to see some things differently. And that's how, again, everything led up to here, to this point where I'm at today. Okay, and I'm all about the excess, second house and Venus and Jupiter. Okay. Wow. I love seeing the banter about astrology. Oh, okay. Are you wondering about, Jay, are you wondering about Prism Oracle or about this one? I actually like both. I'm happy I added both to the collection. And like I said, this one is so unassuming, literally, but it's so good. The guidebook is good. I was after the guidebook because I was teaching or lecturing or leading the reading labs. I do monthly reading labs the last Saturdays of the month. If you're ever interested, join me. You can start and stop your Poised to Lead Ko-fi membership anytime. We have a great time, and we especially had a great time isolating our understanding of color in the cards, in tarot. Like, what is it telling? What is it evoking? We had a great time. Like, okay, we had a prompt, and we were like, what is the color saying to answering our question with that prompt, right? And wow, I'm getting goosebumps. It was good. So look, it's just super simple. Oh, but let me show you the gilding now. Isn't that pretty? Pretty. Super simple. Simple art. But I don't know, it works. I've used it in client readings, both on the hotlines and like my private clients. And love it. Absolutely love it. Some of the colors look the same though. Like, let me show you. You could, if I'm looking at it with my naked eye, and yes, you could see the difference. But if I'm showing this on the camera, I don't know if you can see the difference. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. I don't have time. I don't know if you can see the difference. But I didn't do a flip through of this. I kind of did an impromptu flip through of the last live I did, and I titled it Prism Oracle, like I included in the title. So in case people search in my channel and they're like, oh, did you do a review of this? I sort of did, and you'll find it on that live. But yeah, it's got so many colors. It's so good. Where's my favorite? Oh, here's Peace. Surrender. I like this color, so here's Anxiety. Oh, where is it? I love this one. This one's so cute. Ghost. Okay. So I didn't know which one, Jay, you were talking about. Motorcycles are obnoxious, but they have to be. You have to have loud muffler sounds, apparently, so you can be heard before you are seen. Yes. You did. You and Adam, he's part of our Facebook group, Abundant Life Tarot group. If you're on Facebook, consider joining us. It's low key. We have a good time over there. We just, very low key. And on Fridays, I put up a post on what were you loving on this week with decks or crystals or whatever metaphysical tools you were loving on. And Adam always brings forth the most amazing decks, and not just indie. Tons of mass market. And I'm like, every time I see his post, my wish list grows longer. I got a brilliant deck yesterday, a new mass market one, Tarot of the Unexplained. That already sounds amazing, just the title alone. A deck on UFOs, aliens, supernatural. It's hilarious and reads really well despite renamings. It's super cheap, 23 euros. Okay. The tarot. I'm going to type this on my sticky note. Hold on, friends. I had to type this. Tarot of the Unexplained. You see, this is how it starts. Just say. Okay. I'm gonna check that out. Because I gotta check it out. I like the name. Yeah, it does sound like a fun deck. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, long time no see. Thank you for joining. I met somebody online and the texting was sweet, but turned quickly. Turns out we're both Virgos. Should have been a red flag. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm shocked that I am not only that I was dating an earth sign, that I married one. Because before him, I was like, I kind of stayed away. But you know who else I really stay away from, and I probably would never, is another Aquarius. I cannot stand Aquarius men. Sorry, if you're Aquarius man, I probably would love you down as a friend, but not as an intimate partner. It is just, maybe we too much of the same. It's just, Aquarian men and me. My truth teller in me would have to tell you about yourself all the time. And the whole distance thing that we both need, like I sometimes need space to process and to be on my own and whatnot. And then but when I'm ready to love on somebody, I need them to be ready to receive it. And if you're going to be distant and crazy and weird too, we just can't work. So that could have been a red flag. That could have been a red flag. Hey, thank you for joining. Oh my goodness. I saw that you are doing lives. One of these days we have to get together. Actually, yes. Yes. How are you doing, friend? Thank you for joining. It has been a while. And I'm trying to be more present on lives because it's fun to hang out with my friends. I love a little Thursday afternoon hangout, or Friday or Saturday, but preferably Thursdays. And I want to start, like I keep putting it out there, I want to visit other channels. To that end, I'm going to be visiting my friend Althea Grace's Soul Whisperers channel. I'll put, you'll start to see more like in the community tab, post. I'll put it out. I'm busy on September 14th, Saturday at 3. And we'll be doing readings. So if you want a reading from myself and from Althea, she's amazing. She's an amazing person and an amazing reader. And the dynamic is amazing. And then on September 21st, Scott from Scorpio Sun Tarot. Why am I drawing a blank? But Scott, everybody knows Scott. He's visiting my channel. So he's going to be over here. So I'm trying to, now that I've got some reliable internet, let me knock on wood. I want to hang out more with my peeps in live form. Yes. Yes. See, and that's also important as well, about looking at the placements. It's not probably just straight up and down that it's Virgo to Virgo or Aquarius to Aquarius. I'm just telling you, I tried to date Aquarius men, did not work. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Maybe it was just the Aquarius man himself. I think I tried to date 2 of them, and I was like, this ain't working. Okay. All right, friends. So you are currently in a no-buy phase. Have to replace 3 windows. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, when we have other expenses that take precedence over deck collecting, that's just is what it is. And I remember there was this, and I don't know if it's like that now. I haven't really been actively in the deck collecting world where I've been paying attention, but I knew of people who would put decks on credit, or, like a credit cards, and not that there's anything wrong with it. That in and of itself is not wrong, but going into heavy debt, trying to keep up with the Joneses with collecting decks, or not, paying for things that were important that's going on in their life, replacing the windows for new decks. And some of the decks can be quite pricey, especially the indie decks. And so I had to step back, because every time I turn around, there's something that I have to do for this house. Namely, now getting landscaping, because I'm firmly believing that because we have a wild jungle in the back, that's why the centipede made an appearance. Could be wrong. Apparently, that's just the thing out here. You're going to eventually see 1 or 2 or 3, but I don't care. So there's always something. There's a pipe that needs to be worked on, or the fan went out on our used car. You got to make sure you are maintaining stuff, and those things cost money. And I don't have a 9 to 5 traditional 40-hour-a-week job anymore. I am an entrepreneur now, and so it's just different priorities. Do I still love decks? Do I still collect them? Yes, but not as much as I did when I was working for the state of California, or when I was working for in the private sector insurance company to help me feel better about working all the time. I was like, well, I'm not going to Starbucks like other people or buying designer handbags. I'm buying designer decks. So it's a different phase in my life. So I relate, my friend. I relate. You know what, Ray? I just relate, right? It's okay to pause. And it's okay to every now and then treat yourself. And if it's buying a deck or a beautiful crystal, do it. Just be wise. Be wise. Mm-hmm. Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I could just imagine. Yeah. 2020 was pivotal really? I think a lot of us were going through, if we're all to be perfectly honest, like, whoa, there were some tears for me in 2020. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Oh, you see, okay, see, we're here. So you bought a little fixer-upper shack in the woods, and we sold our home and almost all possessions that we couldn't fit in all our suitcases. And yeah, we sold everything. And then we said, okay, we're going to come here to the islands. We're just thinking it was going to be a sabbatical. Like we were just going to stay here for a while, collect our bearings, and then say, okay, where do we go next? What do we do next? But we got here and we just really, really loved it. It just felt like home. I had never slept so good until last night with the centipede. I'd never slept so good and so at peace than when I was here. And we were like, I don't think we want to go back. And so probably within a couple of weeks of being here in the DR, we made the decision we just don't want to go back. I mean, we go back, to visit family and to handle business in the States and California or whatnot. But it was pivotal. It was a change. It was hard too to sell everything and to let go and to even arrive to that decision. And so I love that you've got a beautiful fixer-upper shack in the woods. We just had to, have to go off on your own for a while. Prism, yeah, this is a cool little deck. Cool little deck. If you're, in the mood for something new, unsuspecting, this is good because you could do a standalone oracle reading with it, or you could pull a clarifier, or you could do like what I like to do is like the little icing on the tarot reading cake, right? You pull a card to have a nice like closing message, so you could do it like that. But I wasn't expecting like this. I got this more as a teaching tool. And the guidebook is really good about its exploration of color and the cards. But I really like it. I'm so happy I got it. Such a pleasant surprise. Yeah. Yeah. Check out, in the chat. Toadstool. Check out the the chat, because we were talking about, or at least my astrological in the know friends were talking about Virgo placement. Aw, happy birthday too, Robin. Oh my gosh, yes. I don't know why it keeps slapping me in the face that it's Virgo season. Duh. And it's why I feel inspired to do a fall cleaning. So naturally, it's birthday season for our friends. So, naturally. I know Beyonce, she's a Virgo. She's a famous Virgo. Do you all know of any other famous Virgos? I feel like a lot of celebrities are Virgos because they're such strong work ethic. It was hell of a year. My God. Oh, I like is that a little bomb emoji? It was. Who would have thunk that it was going to be like that? I didn't. When I was a kid back in 1987, and you envision like, oh, it's going to be, what's 2020 going to be like? I didn't imagine that. Okay. Oh, okay. You're having a party. I will, I need to make a moment to remember that. I'm going to put that on my sticky note. I'm making a moment. So Toad, Robin's birthday celebration Sunday. I make notes so I can remember everything. All righty. Okay. Well, I'm going to make sure I set a notification too. Y'all set your notifications, because sometimes you won't know what's going on. I should say that for myself, like for my channel. Set notifications, check your subscriptions, all the things, because apparently sometimes YouTube goes and does a sweep or does whatever it do. Hey, friend, how are you doing? How's it going? Hello, how can I influence thee today? Ooh, do influence. To influence. I want to be influenced. I want to be peer pressured today. Oh, yes. Not on Facebook much, but might be one of the reasons. I know. And that's the thing why I always have to stay with the caveat of, not everybody's on Facebook anymore. Some people have to take a step back. I'm finally starting to come back into the fold of it. The group is still going on whether I'm in the fold or not, but I get the need to pull back, or you're busy, or you just don't want to be in that space. I don't know why I ebb and flow, but I always end up coming back to Facebook. Instagram has been even more of a struggle for me. I know some people really love Instagram, and I used to, but I still stay pretty connected to Facebook, even though I take little breaks. And obviously YouTube, I'm always here. Maybe that's what it is that I'm, YouTube's my home skillet, but people don't treat YouTube like a social media platform, even though it is. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Oh, the spending has begun. I'm going to check the deck that Adam is talking about. Adam is an influencer, a deck. And Adam only has tarot decks, no oracle, right? A massive tarot collection. Mass market, indie, probably out of print, in print. If you ever are like, I wonder about this deck, he probably knows about it. Tony's in the house. Yes, the Aquarian men thing, like, it's just too much air, too much. I love my Aquarius, but I'm a Gemini. Okay, so for some reason, I do get along with Gemini, and even Gemini men. My son is a Gemini. My oldest is an Aquarius man. And because it's not romantic, it's great. Like, these are my children. I love them. I'm going to love them anyway. I don't care what sign they are. But we get along famously. We're air signs. My mom is the Gemini. One of my dearest friends for a couple of decades, Gemini. We just vibe, and we could talk for hours, all of us. But to be in a relationship, oh no. The signs I seem to have trouble with are Libras and Gemini. Oh Lord, it's like riding a seesaw. It's fun while you're up, but woo, when you step off, ouch. Yeah, it'd be like when you go thud on a seesaw. Boom. Ah, God. Oh my God. Yeah. I get it. I get it. That's a perfect analogy. It would be like two cats that can't get along. My rising sign is Aries. Aries is my rising sign. And my moon is Sagittarius. My sun is Aquarius. So fire and air and all the Yes. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was shocked that my moon was Sagittarius, and my first partner is a Sagittarius man. Probably won't also go down that rodeo again. Sagittarius men, and I'm not the only one. I've heard other people say this. Again, I'm not trying to offend you. It's just that I just didn't vibe very well with him in the end. Could just be we were young, who knows? But whoa. And I see how he is with his subsequent partner since me. Yep. Nope. Yeah. Believers are sick of themselves. This is great. The pretty things. The most I paid for a deck was Shadow Light Tarot. It ended up costing like 190 euros. That's a lot. With the high 50 euro customs. Adding on to it. It was worth it though. One of my favorite decks now. And you know what? Sometimes we have to splurge. I have a whole list of video ideas I want to do in terms of like deck collecting. And one of the videos I want to do is like a Too Precious deck, video, or my decks that I spent some bank on, or maybe I didn't spend hardly anything now, but now that they're out of print, they're a pretty penny. So I want to do a video on that at some point soon in the future. Just because it'd be interesting. And then I would love to see what other people, if they end up doing like a video response, what are their highest, like, what did they pay the most on for their decks? And do they have any regrets about that? I think generally speaking, if you had come to a point to spend a lot on a deck, you're probably still okay with the fact that you did. And it probably is a great investment because now that deck is probably worth even more than what you paid for. Landscaping. Woo! Ah, yes, the landscaping is such a beast. And yeah, and I'd imagine being like in the woods, you have to be very like you have to be very intentional and thoughtful about the process. Just like here with the tropics, we're from a dry climate, like in Sacramento, and it like in a subdivision, right? It's all pretty much set up for you. You could start to get pretty much into the decorating of it all, of the landscaping, the fun part. Here is just wildness, probably similar to the woods. And you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And it's tropical. I come from a dry climate. It's just different. Yeah. It's gonna be a grip for us to get it set up the way we need to get it set up and then to constantly maintain it. And sometimes I just want to just be like, you know what, get rid of all of it and just put some gravel out there. But then I'm like, no, that's not what I really want either. And I do want a little carve out a little garden space for us to garden, like grow herbs and stuff like that. Or we have banana trees. We have stuff that grows wild. That's great. Like, thank God, 'cause I don't really have a green thumb, but I'd like to try. It's expensive. And to find the right person, I have someone in mind that I think would be great to help us. But Lord, it's a big investment. It is. And so that's where my money gonna be going to next. Yeah, I'm very much more discerning about the decks that I add to my collection. What are some decks that you all recently added though? I know we all talking about being, scrupulous with our money, which is great, but I share with you all what decks that I have added. Share with me what you added. Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you, Rain. I thought I was the only one. Because sometimes it's like I just have people tell me the information, like, okay, this is what it is for you, Kim. Just and I know there's a website you can go on and get some basic understandings. I may do that, but I love just getting lost in what y'all are talking about. Congratulations. So you just got a call from a company you applied for this month and okay. We send you great vibes of just ease and, going with the flow, and everything's just unfolding in perfect and divine harmony for you in this job. That is fast. But hey, sometimes it's just when you walking in alignment, with where you're trying to get to, and if you're lockstep, with the universe, it can be that fast. Please keep us posted. Keep us posted if you're comfortable. You don't have to keep us posted, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to celebrate, we celebrate. Yes, yes. Yeah. Oh, loving the Between the Worlds Oracle. Okay. It's for accounts receivable, which is something I like to do. Okay. Yes, that is your earth sign coming through. I think it was like it was such a struggle for me. I mean, I have an analytical mind, so it made sense that I would ultimately be an analyst. But my Virgo boss, I don't know, she was very painstaking with the details of it all. And then, of course, you got to be painstaking with the details in analytical work. But yeah, I could see that. I could see that being a great job for an earth sign. Okay, cool. I'll check that out today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Y'all are talking about a deck. Okay. Aries rising in the house. My daughter's an Aries sun. Interesting little character. Aries women are interesting. Okay. Right? Gravel. For real. Like, I won't have to deal with none of this craziness. But then I'm like, oh, I mean, there are people out here that they have gravel and they don't deal with landscaping. But I'm like, oh, I don't want to be one of those people. But maybe I am really deep down inside one of those people. I want something pretty. Maybe the perimeters could be like with plants. And then the gravel is the main like thing in the ground. I don't know. But you're right. I want it pretty. I want to be able to go out there and take y'all with me and be like, look at my garden. Right now, that ain't happening. You saw what might attack me. We ain't going back there right now. Let's see. Biggest problem is deciding the headings to sort into. I have 6 piles. Okay, you all are talking about that deck. That deck. Okay. I do know Ange. She recently sent me the latest hardwood deck. Lots of woodland creatures and mice. I'll put that on my list to check out. Hardwood deck. I will check it out. And I do know Ange. Ange is so. Did you all see Ange's community tab post? I've been following the story of the hummingbirds. I'm a huge fan of hummingbirds, by the way. And the little baby net, like in the nest, and she was like chronicling the journey of when they were little eggs to when they took off. Oh, check out her community tab. And is it still Roots? What's the name of her channel? It was so sweet. Yes. Let's see. Uh-oh. Adam says, Viola Lux Umbra Tarot is very special plant deck that a special friend bought me. It literally speaks to me. It was a very sweet, abundant personality. I've heard of that one. I have to check it out. Actually, you all have bunches of them. Okay. Witchy Cat Tarot, Mermaid Tarot, Mermaid's Purse Oracle. Never heard of that one. Southern Gothic. I have heard of that one. It's in my Etsy save later cart. You know how you have the cart and then your save later is in there. I never can say that one right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I never can say it right either. Aha. And it's that season. It is that season. Cardinal energy. Yeah. Sometimes isn't it interesting about decks that, like maybe if you didn't have a lot of fire in your chart, or you need fire. What is that one deck? I can't think of it. I can see it. It's like orange. It's mostly orange. It's the tarot deck, I believe. Oh my God, it's at the tip of my tongue. Oh my God, I can't think of it. But it's orange, like mostly all orange. And it's like, you might gravitate towards that. All right. It's going to come to me after the live stream is over. For sure. For sure. Let me see what you say here. Between Worlds Oracle, Tarot of Paul's Moon, Medieval Beast Oracle, Archetype Mini. So Archetype Mini deck. Mythologia Finica, Ghastly Lenormand. Okay, and more. Okay, so I'm going to be checking out this hardwood. All right. Thank you. Because it was going to drive me crazy. And I was going to be like, I hate when it happens. And you just like, I'm not firing on all pistons because of the nightmare last night. Thank you. Something LaCroix. Is it Tarot LaCroix or something LaCroix? But that's it. It's all like orange. And so it gives me fire or wands energy, right? And so maybe you have a lot of earth or a lot of air or water even. And you're like, I need a little fire. So you gravitate towards a deck like that. Is it Tarot of LaCroix? I think that's it. But that's it. That's it, Tony. That's it. The hummingbirds. Wasn't that the sweetest? Oh my gosh. I love the story that she told with us and shared with us with the hummingbirds. Because, we all have like animals that we gravitate towards. Hummingbirds have always been one of the animals that I gravitated towards. And to see the little journey from the eggs to them flying away. And there's just a little sadness that they flew the nest, and you're like, oh, they're gone. I'm here for it. She didn't have to do no video. She just put in a community tab post. And it was so sweet. Took us on the journey. Thank you. Tarot de Saint Croix. Thank you, Saint Croix. Is it a great reader? A lot of people like it. And it's always kind of been in the back of my mind, like, how would I feel about a deck that's primarily orangey color? I don't know. Is it a good reader? Should I get it? It's not terribly expensive either. So I'm like, I'm glad to know it's a good reader. But that's the one I had in mind. Sunflowers on the back. Yep. Sunflowers. That's it. That's it. That's the one. So, and if you think about decks that are primarily watery or like, they got that vibe of like water elements. And maybe you're like me, air and fire. You're like, oh, I don't have a lot of watery decks either in my deck collection. I don't. Oh, yeah. Well, I have the I can't pronounce that either. Boudica's Tarot of Earthly Delights. That one to me feels quite water element-esque. So, to that end, I'm going to show you all the decks that surprised me, that I was loving on. And I'll do that. Let me show you. So let's start with Oracle. We're going to go with this one. Sacred Symbols Oracle deck, 3rd edition. Not everybody loves this deck, and I can understand why, but I do. And I hadn't used it. I hadn't pulled it off the shelf in a long time. But again, I was preparing for the reading lab for color and the cards. So I thought, oh, this will be a good deck to pull down. So it says Sacred Symbols Oracle deck for divination and meditation, 3rd edition by Marcella, created by artist and intuitive Marcella Kroll. And I know now that it's mass market, or it's available mass market, but I have the indie version. And yeah, so it's got this cool little guidebook. Love it. I shuffled this bad boy, and I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and I kept it on here. And this is what also inspired me to say I'm going to do a fall cleaning of this reading space. I got this spiritual cleansing, and I took that as a sign, and I'm going to keep it on in this stand, this card stand, my wooden card stand right here, until I do the task that I'm supposed to do in this Virgo season. And it was spot on because I felt this need and urge to, I wouldn't even say it was a couple of weeks, it might have been a week ago, not long ago, but I don't know, all the days and weeks are blending. But I like it. I like the backs. Let's keep my spiritual cleansing card over there. Sometimes I just like simple symbols. That's why I think I really like the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. Just a little symbol. And it works for me. I also like Oracle decks that have cool keywords and colors. This is why I pulled it down, because I wanted to explore color. I didn't end up using this deck as the main inspiration for my Oracle deck for color in the cards, but I would, it's nice to stumble across a deck you haven't used in a while or pull down off the shelf, and then you use it, and then you get a spot on card, and you're like, okay, I'm happy you're here. Look, this is for my Virgo peeps and my Taurus and Capricorns. anchored, you know, grounded. I think that's why some people like the Literary Witches Oracle, because they got like those cards that there's a section of that deck that just has symbols, you know. It's like 2 decks. The Literary Witches, I have it. It's like 2 decks in one. Transmute. Jealousy. Isn't that pretty? Pretty sure I have a full flip through, so I'll be sure to update the description box later if you're watching the replay. Hopefully you'll see it. If you want to see a full flip through of this deck, you can watch it in my initial impressions of it. I used it a lot when I first got it, but just as you all know, after a while, you forget. Oh my gosh, there's something weird on my home card. This is nonsense. Oh no. Sorry guys, this is gonna drive me crazy. Don't you hate when you see like a little weird stain or something on your cards? It's like, damn it. And this is my favorite color. Oh. I can keep going. I'll just show you this. Divine Masculine and Water. But yeah. So that one I thought of. I said, oh, that's a colorful deck. And so let me use it. And so I used it for a client reading that day. And then I said, oh, it's spot on. And then I said, oh, I want to pull a card for myself and just keep it on my reading table just for me. And then, of course, the card that jumped was Spiritual Cleansing. And I said, okay, I know exactly what it's speaking on. I'm going to go and do just that. So more to come on that journey with you all in my cleaning of this space. A mess. The next Oracle deck I want to talk about is the Points of View Oracle by Beth Kelly. I backed this on Kickstarter. I've talked about it on a couple of occasions. I've done a full like unboxing of it. And again, this was inspired because I said, oh, this is a unique colored deck. I want to use it for the reading lab. Didn't use it for the reading lab, but I was glad that I took it out because I want to show you all the keywords, and I've talked about it before, but maybe this is new to you. It's a great little guidebook. It has a system, by the way. We won't go too much into the system for time's sake, but I just want to show you some of the cards. So here's the card backs. And here you'll understand, I'm like, oh, I like the colors. Looks like it'll be a great autumn-y deck. Sharking. I love this one. Look up Precious. She Snake. Amoeba. So when I'm getting Oracle decks and I'm buying them, I want something unique with the keywords. Yes, you're going to get the standard, you know, cards that represent abundance and friendship and something, you know, that represents like disappointments or something like that. But I love when you get something that kind of takes you out of those standard keywords. The Destroyer. Lay it down. This was me this morning, 4 a.m. Child, just traumatized, like a kid who is scared of the dark. Literally, I'm like, oh my God, what if the thing crawled in my bed? What if they laid eggs or something? Oh my God. Here's Soothe. Watch the beginning of the live stream. You'll see what crawled into the reading office space last night. Here's Pounce. Judge. So I love the colors of this deck. Effervescent. Rest. Show a couple more. Balance and motion. All right, gotta run. Okay, friends. Thank you, Karen, for coming by. And I'll see you around these YouTube streets. The Creator. Thank you for joining me. Love this one. Gut. Shrink. So yeah. Crone. Sit up straight. You see what I'm saying? Oh, weirdo. Flat on your back. So if you want to see a full flip through, I will be putting the link to anytime I talk about decks, I always try to link them in the description box. I forgot to do that last night or whenever, but you will, understandably so. It was part of the plan to do it last night, and then I got scared up out of here with the centipede. So now let's talk tarot. Let's talk tarot. Now, it's probably is one that's kind of controversial, but not for the reasons you think. So we have here the Moonchild Tarot. And the reason I think it's controversial is because some people think this deck is too pretty. Like the people who are depicted is very attractive, right? It just too pretty. The deck itself is, you know, kind of heavy and luxe, and, you know, it's got gilding and it's thick cardstock, and it's just not always ideal to use. However, I used this a couple of times in August, and I remembered like why I was drawn to it in the first place. I really like it. I don't always use it, and I don't always feel compelled to grab it. Every blue moon, I'll grab it for a client reading. If we're doing something like a heightened spiritual type of reading, like we're doing some soul, like going through the inner scapes of ourselves, right? Inner landscapes, if you will. But rarely am I doing those kind of readings. But I did use this a couple of times in August, and I was like, I'm happy I have it. It's got a nice chunky guidebook. It's really, really beautiful. I used it with the Work Your Light Oracle and the Starseed Oracle. I didn't pull those out, but y'all know. Y'all probably have heard of Work Your Light Oracle. It's a Hay House deck, as is Starseed. So I used it with with those two decks. Look at that. So pretty. You are the dance of light and shadow. And I know that there is the black edition or dark edition. I'm probably not going to get that anytime soon because I have this one. But I heard that edition has some different cards. So if you have this edition, it wouldn't be bad to get the dark edition. I'm just minding my business, minding my P's and Q's with my budget this year. So we have 10 of Cups. I love this Death card. Here's the Empress. Two of Wands. Like, you know, some people like, oh, it's like hipster deck. You know, is hipster a thing still? Do people call people hipsters? I don't know. But I can understand why some people would want to not be drawn to a pretty deck. You want a deck that's going to deliver the goods and read well. However, I had profound readings for myself, using, like, I usually just pull like a few cards. You don't need a lot when I use this deck. But for client readings and most recently my Poised Elite members, I do what's called a weekend wake-up call reading. And I do it for just them. And I use this deck and I was like, this is really special. It's so pretty too. Photographs. I mean, come on. It's Instagram ready. Look at that. Here, look at this Queen of Cups. This Queen of Cups is gorgeous, but some people were like, she's not old enough to be a proper Queen of Cups. Okay. I could see that. This is Eight of Wands. I don't know about this Eight of Wands. I'll be honest. Pretty, but, and I know what Eight of Wands means, but I could see why maybe a beginner might be like, what the heck? This don't feel Eight of Wands to me. So, but some decks are not for everyone. Some, you know, not everyone is for some decks. I did not get the Star Child. I've always was like, I'm going to get it. There was a particular edition I wanted. Can't remember now which one. Is it a Akashic edition? I can't remember. And I kept missing the opportunity to get it. And eventually I just concluded it's just not the deck for me. But the Moon Child, I just was like, nope, I got to get it. I want it. I'm going to have it. Here's the Five of Pentacles. And I'm happy that I did. I like this one. Yeah. So here's the Hierophant. And here's a very model-esque Nine of Swords. So, and here's the King of Swords. And I'm going to show you the Devil, and then I'll stop. And the Devil. And so you would probably have to be a little more seasoned or comfortable with being a little bit more intuitive, because this doesn't look like a traditional Six of Swords. I lied. I said I was going to stop at the Devil. One more. Okay. So, okay. One more. The Chariot. Okay. So pretty though. I just, every time it's so like, oh, so pretty. It feels so good. And the gold gilding is held up. And I don't use it often, so that's probably also why the gold gilding held up. But the rose petal, I guess that's what they call it. I don't know what they call it these days anymore. I used to know all about that. It's like 400 GSM and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, let me see what you all are saying. I have one more deck to show you all. Yes, indeedy. You're welcome. The last deck is inspired by you, Jay. Yes. Ooh, thank you, Robin. Okay, you're right. Sometimes when little creatures come up in such a crazy way, in such a way that's like in your face, it must mean something. Even the little frog. So I'm going to look that up. I'm going to make a note to look up my, look up the centipede, the spiritual meaning of the centipede. What does that mean? I'm kind of curious to look it up now. Spiritual meaning of centipede in home. It says in home. They represent the connection between the physical and spirit worlds. They are associated with adaptability and flexibility. They remind us to embrace our individuality. They are a symbol of strength and defense. House centipedes are harmless. In North America, I found out in my vast research of YouTube last night, or this morning that no, you don't want to necessarily mess with the ones out here. But I'm going to keep exploring that. Thank you. Because I do, sometimes I'm like, what's that about? And even with the frog that popped up the night before, my nighttime creatures. Did you just call us weirdos? We're all weirdos. I am certainly one. I'll be that. I'll be that. Did we? Yeah, it's like that card, like weirdo. I mean, it does have a negative connotation, but I always like to take a card, like a word that has a negative connotation, and like turn it into something that's like not necessarily positive, but like own it. You know, people be like calling women bitches and stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna take it and own it. I'm gonna turn that around. So Adam Bluefire, I was curious to know how you felt about the Moonchild. Love the Moonchild Tarot. One of the first decks I got. I prefer the Moonchild Tarot Shadow Edition. A lot of people do. And that's why I say I don't think you would go wrong if you have this edition and then you get the Shadow, because there are additional cards. Also, it's night and dark. Like you could find different ways to work with each. I'm just gonna wait. I think it's on my wish list, the Shadow Edition. I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and see. It's beautiful too. I talked about it in my channel, I think last year when I first was like, oh, what's on my wish list? What's coming out? So when I first heard about the Shadow Edition coming out, I included that in my what's on my wish list video for that year. So it's gorgeous. I've run across decks that feel too pretty to me. People look at me like I'm crazy and I can't explain what it is about them that pushes me away. I can appreciate the art, but it's just not for me. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I get that. And I think that's why I like the Points of View Oracle as an example. It's not pretty. Like sometimes I want something that's going to speak to me, that works. May not be aesthetically pleasing to most, but I get it. And that matters to me. So I can relate to that statement. I'm surprised I even like the Moonchild Tarot like I do. I don't always grab for it, so maybe I don't like it that much, but I do like it enough to not sell it and to keep it in the collection. Yes, the Moonchild Tarot Shadow has a lot of different cards. And that's the other thing. It has bonus cards. So it's not just the 78. So it's got a lot of cool additional cards that I love and resonate with. Like the keywords make sense to me. I think they even have a card, the Moonchild. Let's see. It's a whole new ball game, in my opinion. I prefer it. It's more dynamic. It is. But I remember when it was coming out and people were like, oh, it's too pretty. It's for hipsters, hipster tarot readers. Sometimes decks with certain flaws are just more relatable. That's true. And I like it. It's like a little personality. You know how we're weirdos. Our decks could be quirky and weirdo too. And I like it. I dig it. Be weirdo. Be quirky. Be you. No, I never used the normal version. Need to move it on. Okay. So you like the shadow one and you're thinking about moving it on. And so hey, that's some important information about your collection. Hey, hello. Hi, tarot friend. Thank you for joining. I'm honored you're here. We are just shooting the breeze on tarot decks and things, and pretty versus ugly or weirdo decks. Yeah, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. All my friends are here. Okay, Adam says, I can't deal with fluffy decks with childlike images. Babyish themes give me the ick. So that's probably how I feel about, like, you know what? I don't know. Like Hello Kitty. Or maybe you probably didn't like the This Might Hurt Tarot, like this one. Because this is kind of cartoonish, right? Let me see if I can find a real cartoonish image. Let me see. I'm trying to find one that's like really like, I always kind of shrink away. You know, the panda one, I forgot the name of it. Somebody showed it to me the other day. And I was like, I actually like that one. I'm shocked I like it. Hold on. Just got a sign and my battery on my laptop's about to die. But I showed you all this one, I think last month. Is it like this, what you're talking about, kind of cartoonish? Or are you talking about like Hello Kitty or unicorns or rainbows and things of that nature? Yeah. Yeah. So while I'm going to show you the last one. So Jay, you mentioned last month about this deck. And I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot I have that. It's the story of my life. I forgot I had that deck. So you inspired me to pull it out, and I'm glad I did. It's the True Heart Intuitive Tarot by Rachel True, our homegirl from the craft. And she is a reader in her own right. Great guidebook. The box, I might still have it somewhere. I don't know where. But great guidebook. Gives you backstory. And it's just a little funky deck. I keep it instead of the box. I keep it in this little, because I thought this little bag went well with this went with the guidebook and the deck itself. But you inspired me because you mentioned it, and I was like, oh, I do like this deck. And oftentimes you all will mention a deck, and I'm like, that's right, I have it, and I want to play with it. So I'm going to show you all some. This is a 3 of disc. Some people may not like the coloring of the people in it. I like it. It's also a little quirky, this one, but it reads well for me. Look at this. Look at the 4 of Cups. We could have a little fun with this one, with the symbolism, like this eye, that there's a tear here. It's almost like, when they talk about when actors break the fourth wall and then they start talking to you at the screen and you're like, oh, they're not in character anymore. I don't know why this feels like that to me. I don't know. Isn't that interesting? And I wonder if it talks about it in the guidebook, 4 of Cups. I don't know. But yeah, there's the Emperor. And the reason I pulled it down, aside from Jay mentioning it, like, oh, we were talking about decks that we were just talking, we talk about decks. Here's Prince of Wands. And it went well with my Dark Moon Damsel Oracle, I thought. Let me show you. I want to do a random pull too. Here's Flourish from the Dark Moon Damsel. So I was like, oh, I want decks that play well with my Dark Moon Damsel Oracle. And This Might Hurt Tarot went well with it. So what else? And so then she mentioned this one. I was like, oh my gosh. Yes, it does. Look at the Hermit. Here's 5 of Wands. This is a 9 of Swords I love. Here's 5 of Cups. The eyes. She has a lot of eyes in her cups. The World. Here's Judgment. So what I'm going to do while I'm reading your comments is I'm going to shuffle, and I have a full flip through, as I mentioned before. All the decks I'm discussing today have flip throughs. I will link them later. I'm going to shuffle, but I'm going to also multitask and see what you all are talking about. Yes, The Craft. We are weirdos, Mr. I want to watch that movie again. I don't know if it's on Amazon Prime. I want to watch it because it's so good. I mean, maybe it was just the time in the 90s. I think when it came out, I was 16. Oh, we are the weirdos, Mister. I just can hear, I forgot her name. I could hear her saying that. The Shadow Edition is my fave of all her decks. Oh my gosh. You guys, I might have to bump it up to the top of my wish list. I just might. I just might. I like gritty decks the best. Can you give an example of what would be a gritty deck to you? What would be a gritty deck? Look, she's definitely into the eyes, isn't she? Gritty. This is an interesting Eight of Swords. So now I'm going to shuffle my Dark Moon Damsel. Hey, Beth. Hello. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing? Yes, it does have a Marin County vibe, don't it? I'm like, that's exactly it. And I'm more of a, what am I? Definitely probably more Alameda County. I am not Marin County in the least, so that's why I'm surprised. And what we're talking about, folks, in case y'all are wondering, what we're talking about, Northern California, Marin County, very hipster-ish in California. Okay, I'll show you. It does. Moonchild definitely has a Marin County vibe. Okay. Just getting some different cards out so I can show you these combos. Destin's in the house. All the peeps. I've really been enjoying or been into, I've filled in the word. I've been into the Under the Oak Tarot. It's actually surprised me. I wasn't expecting to love it so much. I thought it would be too cute, but it's definitely pagan. I don't think I've heard of that one. I'm going to check that one out. I'm going to put it on my notepad. I like the My Little Pony-esque sort of aesthetic. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I suppose if I have majestic unicorns, that feels like, I don't know, more majestic than a My Little Pony situation. I too could, I could appreciate it. So here we have the Eight of Discs. This is from the True Heart Intuitive Tarot, and the Dark Moon Damsel Oracle, and we have Gift. So this is a combo that I like. I don't know why. And then we have Five of Swords and Sever. Yeah. I like to do tarot oracle combos. But mystical medleys is too cool for school. Mystical medleys. I love the alliteration. I adore This Might Hurt. That's not what I mean. I mean more like rainbowy angels floating on a cloud, like lots of pink. That's the fluffy ones I don't like. Truth be told, I'm the same. I know. I love Rachel too. I follow her on, I'm pretty sure I follow her on Instagram. Pretty sure. I just love her. I love her personality. I always have since she hit the scene back in the day in the 90s. And when I found out she was a reader, and I also loved her in the sitcom she was in. She was in a long-standing sitcom, Half and Half, I think it's called. And yeah, I loved it. This is an interesting Nine of Wands. Got cards around. Let me see. Hi, how are you doing? Hello. I am well after my centipede fiasco. Tired, you know that tiredness where your eyes are burning? That I am, but I'm well otherwise. How are you? I like that deck, but never got it as one of those awful old school cereal box like boxes. Are you a box snob, Adam? Or are you? Are you like I am not doing cut boxes either? Ooh, look at this. Look at this combo. This is the High Priestess in Secret. So I was looking for a tarot deck that played with my Dark Moon Damsel Oracle. And so people were recommending decks. And so this was one that Jay recommended. And I'm so happy she did because then I used it in a couple of client readings. I was using it for membership readings. It was just, I was having a time with it this past month in August. Yeah. I think we were talking about the true crime and Calgary case. Yes, we were. And oh, that's right. We were talking about decks that I wanted to start using for some of my true crime readings. Normally, I use the New Era Elements Tarot. Sometimes I use the Ferenc Pinter Tarot. What else? I know other people use the Haunted House, Tarot of Haunted House. I have that deck, but I don't always feel drawn to use it for those mysterious circumstance readings. But I always go to the New Era Elements. So you made a recommendation to me to try this deck. And I'm like, okay. So maybe I might try for my Mara Murray disappearance case that I'm getting ready to take on. That's going to be a bear. Because when you start reading on cases that have been like, that's a 20-year case with a lot of people who've done a lot of readings. There's been a lot of rumor and, all these things around it. The energy is so dense. So I have to be careful about what I'm picking up. But I have been wanting to, since I started doing Mystery Mystic readings back in October of 2021, I always wanted to do Mara Murray, but I just never got around to it. And now I'm finally going to get around to it. Gritty decks for you would be the Somnia Tarot, Madhouse Tarot. That's definitely on my wish list. The New Era Elements for sure is gritty. For sure. And straight to the point, bold, controversial decks that force you to think. Absolutely. For sure. Not for the faint at heart. I would take it. Certainly not for the crowd that appreciates fluffy decks. I am 100% a box snob, but I do allow tug boxes, but they bug me. Yeah, I have like a whole collection of boxes that I had to collapse to bring them here. And they're tug boxes. And I'm like, why am I keeping these? Why? I should just toss them. But then there's a part of me like, no, you can't toss the box. They belong to the deck. I struggle with letting go of tug boxes or bad boxes. So you're 100%, huh? Boxes all the way. Boxes do make it sweet. Even like this little deck here, $16 deck. Look what they did. Look. Fancy. Who is this? Chronicle Books. You could, but again, this is mass market. They have the money, I suppose, but a nice box is helpful. Now, if you are someone who has limited space, you may not be so keen on needing a big box or a box at all. You might just forego the box. You may want the deck without the box. But for some, they want the full deal package. And I can relate to both sentiments. Do you know of any true crime tarot decks? There aren't many out there as far as I've seen. Oracles, yes, but tarot, no. There is one that I came across on Etsy. And what I'll do, Adam, is I will try to find it because I think I favorited it just in case I was going to be inspired to get it later. But what I ended up doing was just using New Era Elements Tarot for those readings. So I never felt the need to get it. But I will go through my favorites and I will remember to put it in our Facebook group so you can see it. There's like only one or two, and it's kind of hard with tarot. Oracle, it makes sense to me for true crime because of the keywords and, you know, the images and stuff. With tarot, it almost like locks you into, how do I say this? I like the room that the new era elements tarot, or even the Rider-Waite Smith gives me when I'm doing those type of readings. Whereas I feel like it's too specific with 78 cards. I don't know how else to say it, and I'm not probably articulating it well. It just feels too specific and tight where I want the freedom. And that's why I thought, oh, maybe the True Heart Intuitive Tarot could work. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Destin's here. Thank you for joining, all of you. The box is the deck's home. You got to have a nice home to protect you. True. And here's the thing. When I was in the States and I had room, well, I made room. I was starting to have shelves almost everywhere when I was back in California. Here, I've been trying to be more discerning about the space because I don't want to have a lot of decks everywhere. And so I was more forgiving about not having boxes or fancy boxes because I needed to preserve space. But back home, oh my God, I was a box snob back home for sure. For sure. Like, oh no. Why are you gonna go ahead and make an indie deck and not give us what we want, the full experience? Especially because I was doing so many unboxings back then when I was in California. So I was like, I gotta show the people something. Now I don't hardly do them as much anymore. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna put it in a cute little bag. This I collect a lot. I collect a lot of little bags, tarot bags. If I kept my decks, though, Beth says, if I kept my decks in their boxes, then boxes would matter to me. I have tarot bags or out. I call them, oh, Beth, we're so similar. I call them little outfits too, like the little coordinated outfits. I have tarot bags, as I call them, for all of them. So you have them for all of them. I don't have them for all, but I have them, like, we have a closet. And some of my decks like to get dressed up and get fancy. And some of them, they just wear their little box that they came in. And some, they just sit out on my reading table. They never put clothes on because they're always laid up. They're always being used and abused. So they never get fancy clothes. But if we were traveling, they would. They would be putting their little outfits. Girl, that's so funny to me. I know, I'm thinking about it. And I started writing a guidebook for a tarot deck. And it was inspired by making a true crime deck for me to use. But I'm like, do I want like an original artist? How do I want to do that? What's the treatment? So I just started with where I could start, which is writing the keywords in the guidebook. So that's what I've been doing. So yes. It's a bit more of a bigger undertaking than making like an oracle deck and getting like stock images and coming up with keywords. But I have, just so you know. Yes, yes, yes. Outfit. Oh my goodness. They have to coordinate, right? They just can't be looking crazy out here. They have to coordinate. Like, let me see. Like, for example, like this one, this little bag, I end up putting the this occupation or career oracle in here. So I felt like it coordinates. Like they go. Like they can't just be looking raggedy out here. So yeah. That's so funny. You guys are so funny. Oh my goodness. This has been so much fun. Every time I get on here, I'm always like, I'm not gonna keep these people. They are so gracious to hang out with me all this time. I'm gonna be in here. I'm gonna be here for 30 minutes flat. Child, I get to talk, and that's the air sign in me. I just want to welcome my new subscribers, and my old subscribers, the peeps who have been my day ones. You have been rocking with me for so long, and I appreciate you all so much. But yeah, I think I have a new subscriber this morning that said they found me. I'm like, oh, and they subscribed. So I want to thank those who subscribe to me and stay subscribed. You all rock. I appreciate you. Thank you for liking the video. It helps. It really does. At least that's what they tell us. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't, whatever. But yeah, I appreciate it if you do like the video. Yes. And don't forget to hit the notification button. That's another thing they tell us that we need to tell y'all. So that's what I'm doing. So friends, I've held you up long enough. I hope you all are going to have a fabulous rest of your day or night and weekend, because that's fast approaching. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a fall cleaning and sharing with you all about this baby finally, this Florida Chinese floor wash. Yes. So I'll be sharing with you my unofficial review of it, and also sharing like my process of decluttering my reading table and then putting all this shit back on here. It's not shit, but you know what I mean. It's a lot of stuff. Like when you get into all the crystals and things, there's a price to pay. And that's dusting and moving them safely and then putting them back. There's a price to pay for loving baubles and things. But I'll pay that price. Ciao, friend. Ciao, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you all around. Catch me on another live stream coming soon. Bye.